Do you give consent to this interview?
I do.
Okay. Have you always lived in this area? And if so, what are the factors that made you want to stay here?
I have not. I grew up in Middle Tennessee, and I went to school in Middle Tennessee, and then I went to UT in Knoxville, and I got a job here, and I've been here since.
Okay. What would you say are the main differences between teaching in a rural school and a school in a different area?
Well, I've only taught here,
Okay.
so I'm not really sure on that one.
Describe the school climate in your building.
We are all very close. We have about 8 to 10 teachers per grade level, and we all plan together on a daily basis. We like to do things outside of school. We participate in chaperoning dances and working at the ball game. So we all love to try to help each other and to help the kids.
Talk about some advantages of rural schools and communities.
Well, they're a lot smaller, and so I've been here for, this will be my 6th year, and I've had a lot of siblings that have gone through, so I already know their families. It is a really small, everyone knows everyone, and even though I'm not from here, since I've only been here 6 years, I feel like I have a connection with so many more people since it is so small.
Mm-hmm. And what about, discuss some disadvantages of rural schools?
There isn't as much parent support, I would guess, in other types of schools. And they're out of the parent support that we do have, a lot of them may not have a lot of resources to help fund certain things, but we make it work.
All right. And talking about the parent support, what type of community support does the school receive?
We have one family who owns a local ice cream shop, so we have they support us, they do fundraisers, and we have special nights where the kids can go, and a percentage will go to certain sports teams that we have here. There's other, like Chick-fil-A will also contribute. We have a great basketball team, so that brings in a lot of community support as well.
Okay. And I think that you just kind of told me this. Tell me about an instance of community support for you as a teacher or school.
I am in charge of student council, so last year I took my student council members, we went to the local retirement home right up the street, and they all had heard about North Middle, and they were so excited that the middle school students, that usually aren't as nice and friendly, were there to help. We played bingo with the residents. So I love doing that. I'm going to do it again this year with my student council.
Tell me about how teachers and administrators collaborate at your school.
So we are lucky. We have an hour and a half of planning every single day. The first 45 minutes of planning, we are required to have a collaborative plan with our other teacher of that grade level, or of that subject. And then also during that time, after the 45 minutes, you have the whole second 45 minutes. You can go to the office, you can make your copies, do anything in your room. So the administration is always, they'll pop in to see if you need anything, need any help or advice. So we're all very open. We all get along.
As an educator, do you feel that teachers and administrators collaborate effectively for the success of the school? And why?
Yes, our principal and both assistant principals are they always want to hear our opinion or our side of something so that they can help us, which ultimately helps the kids. So they've created that type of relationship where we all feel very comfortable to go to them with any wants or needs, and they always support us. Even if something happens in a classroom and we describe what happens, they are there to support us because they know in turn that's helping the students.
Describe for me the job retention among teachers at this school.
Everyone stays. There's a few people that will go to another school within our county, or they will move to another school, but everyone who works here loves to stay here and will try their best to continue to work here.
And what do you think contributes to that, to everybody wanting to stay here?
I would say how open the administration is to us and how willingly they are just trying to help and support us. Also, how we work together so well, the teachers work together. The planning, an hour and a half planning is wonderful, but it is so helpful being able to spend 45 minutes every single day with your planning partner.
Okay, we're still going.
Oh my gosh, I was like, sorry. That's also a plus because you get to talk about the previous lesson that you just taught, tweak it for next year, and then get to move on to the following day's lesson as well in the 45 minutes.
What resources are available to help you as a teacher through school funding and other funding sources?
There are a ton of conferences and PD opportunities that the office will let us sign up for. A lot of times they will email you and say, we'd love if you would attend this, and they will send us there. Last year I went to, just in the middle of the school year, I got to go to a ELL training just to help with the ELL students here. So they find a lot of opportunities for us to attend.
What is one thing that you could do to improve the conditions for your school?
I would say, I know with student council, I would try to bring in, like I said, I went to the retirement home this last year, so I would say just reaching out more in the community to not just restaurants where you can go and get some of the proceeds to go to the school, but just doing more community service in local businesses.
As a teacher in a rural school, tell me about the professional development offered to you. You kind of already spoke on that a bit.
We have a ton of opportunities. They will email us throughout the year with opportunities. They will also give us at the beginning of the year an in-service. They'll have different lists that you can choose from. And if you find your own, you can always talk to them about it, and they will, usually if it's going to be worth your time and their money, they will allow you to attend it.
And we kind of touched base on this a little bit, but what type of support do teachers receive from parents just in your classroom?
In mine, I would say about 50%, like in my classroom, 50% of the parents are very supportive and will volunteer their time, volunteer extra materials or resources, and then the other 50%, they're good parents, just not as, they may not have the time to be as supportive as others.
Discuss the career opportunities that your community has to offer for its graduates.
Well, there are local businesses that we know that not all of our students are going to attend college, and we provide every year at the end of the school year, each grade level goes to a different college. Some of them are just local community colleges, and then some even talk about other options to go, maybe just to go into the mechanical field or to go into agriculture field where they wouldn't really have to go to school, but there's other options of jobs that they could go straight into.
Tell me about what many of the students in your school do when they graduate from high school.
I would say 30 to 40% probably do attend a college, and then the others probably just go straight out into the working field. I'm not exactly sure on that percentage.
I mean, and that's different from us being in middle school to
that's true.
high school. How do you make students aware of the success that they are achieving?
We have a lot of opportunities throughout the year. We can choose them as Student of the Week, where you can just brag on their success. You can choose them as Student of the Month, where that's not only just academics, but their character and being a good person. And then we also throughout the year have an A honor roll and an AB honor roll after each 9 weeks, where the kids they're recognized for being on those honor rolls. And a lot of, especially in 5th grade, they're still working really hard. The they'll watch the first 9 weeks honor roll and be so motivated to make it throughout the rest of the year. So they will try to make it onto that.
What do you feel is the biggest obstacle your school faces in meeting the needs of your students?
I would say we do have a gap between the higher achieving students and the lowest achieving students. So I would say just reaching, and especially, again, middle school is kind of a rough time. They're kind of figuring out who they are. So in 5th grade, it's not as difficult, but just trying to motivate them to want to do well and to be a successful person. A lot of them don't see now, like, oh, if I don't go to college, trying to make money, I've got to figure all that out. So just trying to close that gap.
Tell me about the quality of education available to your students from here versus an urban area.
We do have a few local community colleges that would be available to them. UT is just 35 minutes down the road. And then also, I think going on those college trips throughout every single grade level kind of shows them, college doesn't have to be the University of Tennessee. There, we go to Roane County, we go to Pellissippi State, so they can also see that maybe UT might not be the best for them, but there's other options too.
And tell me about school choice in your area.
In our county, Loudoun County, there are 3 other schools that have the middle school grades. A lot of people prefer to come to North. They do really like North. I think we do have the highest achieving students in the county, so it is kind of a desirable school to be in.
Describe how people in and out of your community perceive rural educators.
I tend to, when I tell people that I teach in Loudoun County, I get a lot of respect. I feel like people are impressed that, and they're just very respectful and thankful that that's what I do. So I enjoy telling people that I work for a rural community.
What motivates or demotivates you to stay in rural education?
I personally love it. I attended a private school when I grew up, and I just kind of assumed that was the only thing I was used to, and I just assumed I would want to teach in a private school setting. But after I student taught right down the road, and then I've been teaching here, I love being that positive person that help. A lot of these kids don't have good home lives at home, or they don't have a good role model to look up to. So I just love being that positive person for them, and I don't think I could work anywhere else.
Is there anything else that you would like to share regarding rural education?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.